a parent posted a question about a 3-year-old saying no to everything. All right. So yeah, on one hand, it's perfectly normal. I mean, kids are discovering the amazing power of saying no to their parent. So it's a cool, it's noticeable when the kid gets to that point and they're just like, no, even things that they want. Like, do you want to help decorate the Christmas tree? No, when like really they do. So it's kind of irrational, but they're just toying with the power that they have. They've stumbled upon this new breakthrough. And before this, they haven't stumbled upon it. And so it's a cool new thing. And so on one hand, yes, it's perfectly normal. But then on the other hand, we have to be the leader to make sure that we balance this all in a healthy way and not accidentally let the kid be the leader or, let the kid run the household in a way. We That doesn't mean that we become the kid's slave and do everything that they want, so we have to balance this well. On one hand, we see that our kid has a need for power and we want to meet that need. We don't want to frustrate the kid's need. But on the other hand, we want to make sure that we don't allow them to set the tone in the whole house, because we're the adults and we're supposed to do that because the we're the role model, the leader. We have to be calm, secure, confident in running our household and raising the kids, because the kids actually need us to play that role, and that's how they'll feel secure. So there's a lot of different things to balance here. Um, the next thing is to notice what are the things that the kid is saying no for, and that's why I asked the person who posted, tell me what are examples of things that you're asking your kid to do and they're saying no, because that matters. The way I see it is in two different categories. There are some non-negotiable, like hard no's that I handle differently than everything else, basically. So I would go about things in a different way for the hard no's. For example, you may not touch that knife. Put it down and walk away right now. And if the kid says no, then I would give a consequence. And I would explain to the kid, like, these are the rules of the house. You may not touch knives. You may not hit people. You may not slap people. You know, can't touch sharp tools. You can't walk into the street. You can't, I don't know, like, you have to think of the ones, like, there should be, I don't know, some maybe 3 to 5, depends on the household. There should be a set of hard no rules that when your kid pushes you on those things, they will find a stern limit, and they need that to feel secure. So, they're gonna, if they don't have a firm limit from you, they're gonna push and push and push. We don't want them to push on these things because they're very important. We don't want a kid, we don't want a kid to like slowly walk into the street and be like, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? And then you're like, I said no, get back from the street. And they're gonna be like, no, and then go towards the street. We don't want that. We want to shut it down. So we have to show them the rule is you may not do this. And you did this, and you have a consequence. I'm not saying to, it doesn't have to be, like a punitive tone. It doesn't have to be yelling. It doesn't have to be you're disappointed in them. Like all of that, you can omit all of that. But what I do feel is necessary is there. That's my rule. That's my limit. And you broke that rule. You pushed that limit, and now you have a consequence. So now you have to sit here for 5 minutes. Let me get the timer. Okay. You don't act mad, but then when it's over, you can say, thank you for taking the consequence. Now remember, what was the rule you broke? Right. Walking into the street. Right. And can I count on you to not do that again? Yes. Okay. Have them give you some sort of verbal confirmation. Don't lecture them as they're running away from you. And you're like, remember not to run in the street anymore. And they're like, hey, not even listening to you. Because these things are important. And like there's new parenting philosophies that steer so clear away from anything that might occur as controlling. And I'm not saying that I want to control children. Like, no, if you watch my videos, you see that I'm loving and nurturing, and I love kids, and I love to empower them and give them as much, freedom and choice as possible. But when it gets too unbalanced and the kid's behavior is getting pretty extreme in a negative way, this element of parenting is important, or as a teacher, it is important for the kid to feel secure and safe within these limits. And when you do that, they understand, oh, this is a firm limit. I'm not going to push this limit. The other things, fine, they can push those, but not these. And this is where we get the power of the look, where the adult, the kid will, be like, oh, the ball went in the street. I'm going to go run in the street. And then they'll look and they'll be like, okay, you get it, Mom. Thank you. Yes, I will get it, because you're only 3, you're only 4 or whatever, even 5. I mean, it depends on the neighborhood and the busyness of the street. But for these hard no's, that's where the look comes in. I'm just like, like let's say they're frustrated with their cousin and they're about to hit them. Ah! And then they look at you and you're like, and they're like, and then that's a cue to remember what they can do when they're angry instead of hit, like to use their communication skills. Like, you may not hit me. I'm going to tell Mom, or your aunt, or my aunt, or whatever, and, handle it a different way other than breaking a hard no rule. So that language of the hard no's, of just like, you may not hit. The rule is no hitting. You hit, so now you have to, or now I'm going to take your toy. Now I'm going to some sort of consequence. Not too big, not too small, but something where they feel the impact of it. So they're associating doing this with them losing out on something. And that's the way to teach them not to do it. But then for everything else, so everything except for the hard no's, however many you have of them, everything else is handled differently. So for everything else, don't use the same language that you use for hard no's. If you do, then you're going to exasperate your kids, and they're going to be responding with no, 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 no. And so you could address things differently, like, hey, honey, do you mind if you stop tapping on that drum? It's kind of loud, and I'm having a hard time reading my book with it. And your kid's just like tapping it louder. And so that's not a hard no. And so you could walk into the other room and read your book, or put in your earplugs and read the book. Or you could, say, how about if you stop doing that? We could, play this puzzle instead. And, you're like, so you're not exerting your, authority and power in these situations. In these situations, you're asking politely, you're making polite requests. And if they don't go the way that you want, you're not going to put your foot down. You're going to figure out some other way to either, be cool with it, modify your own behavior, try to enroll your kid in a new activity that works for both of you, and you're modeling respect. So you are, for the hard nose, you are earning respect by showing them, I have a limit, and if you cross it, you will have to pay a consequence. Like, that's earning respect. Because, I mean, think about it. We've all had teachers who let the kids go crazy, and we don't respect them. And then, one day that teacher might stand up for herself, and everyone's like, whoa. And then the respect grows. So how do we earn respect? Well, we earn respect by modeling being a leader and keeping our word. Like I said, you may not run in the street, and you did. And so you're going to have to sit here for, set the timer for 2 minutes or whatever, or 5 minutes. You're going to have to sit here. And so they're respecting you because you're not all talk. Like, you said something and they see, like, whoa, mom said I can't touch the knife. And it's true. I really can't touch the knife because she stopped everything and gave me a timeout or a consequence, or she took my iPad away for the day. So, wow, when mom says that there's an important rule, it's true. And wow, I respect her. Like, that's a strong leader. I respect someone like that rather than someone that you can walk all over. Like I said, don't hit me. You're not allowed to hit. You're not allowed to hit. You're not allowed to hit. Well, then the respect is going low, because what the words coming out of your mouth are saying, I'm not going to let you hit me, but you are still letting them hit you, rather than stopping them and having them, experience some sort of impact on their shoulders because they crossed your line. So that's for the hard nose. You're making sure that your kids are respecting you for those hard no, non-negotiable rules. Now, for everything else, like the soft nose, here's where you're demonstrating beautiful respect for them. So you're drawing them into the whole mutual respect, so, and you can even do this interchangeably with like, for example, not interchangeably, but like you can do it in conjunction with each other or whatever. But so let's say, hey, I told you you're not allowed to walk into the street or run into the street. And you did run into the street. So now I'm going to have you sit on the step here with me. I'm going to get out the timer for 5 minutes. Okay. Timer's over. All right. So you did a great job taking your consequence. Thank you very much. And remember the rule of not running in the street. Can I count on you to not run in the street anymore? Yes. Okay. Great. And you know what? I was thinking of getting out the Frisbee or turning the sprinkler on. Which one would you like? How about both? Even better. What a great idea. Let's set that up, okay? And so, well, you have to be careful not to, I'm not saying create like this huge reward after they just broke a rule. That's not good. So maybe, I don't know, maybe not sprinkler, but something. My point is to give them a choice and to let them see that the respect is mutual. Like, you're respecting these things for me, like these rules I have, and I appreciate that you're following them, and I know I'm making you follow them, and you are respecting them, and I appreciate that. But now I will show you respect, and I will give you choices, and I will not put my foot down on many other things, and I'll show you and model for you mutual respect, and make sure to give it to them and to pour into their power bucket and all of that. So yeah, if they break a rule, I love to, after they take their consequence, to reiterate, that was the rule you broke, so don't do it again. Thank you very much. And then, yeah, be cautious not to give them a reward after that, but something neutral, like, hey, I was gonna go make dinner now. Did you want to have pizza or, noodles? Something like that. Would you like to help me stir or would you rather watch TV while I cook dinner? Okay, so something like that. But yeah, you don't want to be like, thanks for taking the time out for hitting your sister. Would you like to go to the store and buy you a new toy? Like, don't do that, obviously. So something neutral that shows that you really value their opinion and their preference. So you can do both simultaneously.